Well, it sure has been a very long while since I've done reviews since the last time, but I got something curious in my mind, and that is the Gmon S620. I sort of was just doing my own thing on AliExpress, and I just find this thing. It's weird. I tried XP Pen, I had tried Helion, I had done Wacom. Wacom's literally everywhere, so you can just find it everywhere. So I tried a lot of well-known brands a bit more, and just really curious. This one thing, it's about $40. It's designed for mobile. Exactly what I wanted. Some sketching device. That's not good for serious work or anything like that. And I tried to do some serious work in this video, like some more of a finalized illustration, but it didn't end up that well. It's more designs with sketches, and I just really want something that's more mobile than just carry around like a 2-inch joint tablet around all the time. So there was something in my mind. It is $40 in Australian dollars. So that's about something around $30 in America, I think. So yeah, $30. I've done some research before that. So yeah, let's talk about a review. I actually done a few of the voice covers while filming and everything, and we have a mic in front of me. Everything sounded really weird, so everything right now is a pre-recording of everything, and I tried to make everything as reasonable as possible. Here I present you a goddamn box. Yep, the phone is nice, and everything's good as well. So right now I'm using a really old camera, a really old phone of mine. I don't like using cameras because camera's stupid, and everything right now is recorded off the mic stand that I usually have alongside of me. So everything here is really it's fine, really. I usually use a lamp to record in the old 2D sketching videos. But yeah, but the packaging came in a really simplistic cardboard box, and when I opened the cardboard box, it is just a very simple white box with the company name on top of it. I cut a bit of the rubber off, stickers, whatever you want to call it, off, and that's basically the extent I've been so far. I tried opening a bit, and the first second I thought about it, like, hey, I should probably make a video. It's been a very long time since I made a video, and it's almost been 2 years since I made a 2D video, or like a drawing video, I think. Yeah, I've been pretty far away from 2D stuff lately, and just mainly has been focusing on sculpting 3D, but more importantly, been procrastinating as hell and everything during my final year of high school. So let's get into the unboxing. So here's a few piece of paper, some drivers to download. One of the most curious things about the drivers for this device is that it's mainly more focused towards Mac users, which is honestly a really big surprise for me, because as far as I know Windows are pretty much more popular than Macs, and it really doesn't make sense, really. For the device I have, it is S603, I think. It showed up in the beginning package in the video, and I just can't bother to check right now. Actually, no, it's the S620, so it's a mobile thing. It comes with 2 adapters, one from the USB-A to USB-C, and a USB-B. So by default, the tablet is supposed to connect to a laptop, which is USB-A, but there's 2 adapters in there, one to USB-C and one for USB-B. So that's very nice for if you have older devices and also new ones, and I thought it came in handy. So yeah, speaking back to the drivers though, the current Windows drivers for this joint tablet is in beta, which I did not check before I buy it. Which honestly though, is not too much of a big deal. There were some icon issues when it comes to things, but overall, the beta one is usable. In terms of quality of the joint tablet itself, I don't really care. It's fine. It's usable. It doesn't feel too cheap. It doesn't feel nice. It's not a Wacom. It's definitely not a Wacom. It's somewhere in between a Helion XP Pen and then a Wacom. So it's better than a Helion and XP Pen in my own personal opinion, just slightly. And yeah, I kind of wish it so yeah, it comes with 6, I think it was 8 nibs or things like that, and also remover for the nibs, and also the hand smudger, which honestly right now I can admit it, the hand smudger right now is probably the best I ever felt, including all the Wacom ones I ever tried on, including the 2 XP Pens and also the Helion one that I have the screen joint tablet I usually use, which I usually use for more the finalization works. It has a very soft touch to it. It's not hard as to the XP Pen ones, and also very large and loose around it, but also comfortable for the hand. It doesn't feel too cheap that it only stops at the wrist area. It goes all the way past the wrist area, which I found really comfortable to draw in. It's kind of like, it's fluffy in a sense, but really not. It's very soft. Another thing regarding about the pens of this joint tablet is that it doesn't come in any sort of like holder or anything. So the pens are on its own, and nips is just like stored in a plastic bag, which kind of ruins everything. I kind of wish there was a small box which is there for removing the nips and also storing for nips, which you can maybe store your pen in, kind of like a holder or something like that you can just use. At this point, I might be considering murder or something like that. You just never know with me when I'm unboxing pens. But anyway, it's a pen, and it's kind of like a mix between a Wacom pen and also a Helium pen. One of the most standout things for anyone that uses Helium is probably the rubber gripping on the front pen, and this pen has it. It's not as thick as the Wacom pen, but honestly though, I think that's too thick usually on Wacom pens, and this one's kind of just right, really. It has a really good weighting to it. Sometimes I think like pens are usually bit too light for its own good, and sometimes really hard to put extra pressure into it to get the right line artwork. But this one's pretty nice. This one's good. I like a weird thing about this thing. I really like about it is actual nibbing of the actual pen itself. It has a really pen-like nib to it, which I really like to use to draw from. Right now, I'm just comparing some of the pens I think in the actual video. So yeah, here's the other three that I own. You can tell the first one is the Gmon. It has a nice gripping to it. I mentioned that earlier. 2-button mouse and doesn't require charging in the end, so that is very nice to have the whole. My Helium joint tablet itself is a pretty old version. I think it's an older version. I think like a few years old. It requires charging, and I found that it's extremely annoying though. Not exactly annoying enough for me to ever complain about it. And this one is the one I'm holding in right hand is the. God damn it, man! Come on, just choose the goddamn pen already. But anyway, though, I had an old XP pen, Decode number 1, and yeah, the pen was a bit too light for my own use and felt really cheap. This one doesn't have the same issue. Right now, I'm talking about the holder issue. Wouldn't be nice if I holder. It also doesn't have the eraser button at the end of the pen, which I actually don't care about. He also came around with this bag thing that you're supposed to put the pens on. I tried snipping some of the extra adapters in there, but it doesn't really work that well, and I think it's a stupid design, and I don't really see any use for it really, unless you want to maybe put in some other pens beside your drawing pen, because I don't know how this is supposed to be any use for me personally. And yeah, it's nice. It has it. The adapters work. It doesn't feel too cheap. It actually feels pretty nice. It has a metal feel to it. I bought a Xiaomi Note 7, which it came with an adapter for the power supply, and it felt very, very cheap, and this one was clearly not one of them. And yeah, I tried fitting inside the bag itself. It feels cheap, honestly. It feels like cardboard or something. And the manual, I should have read that before anything else, but I didn't. And what else can I do about it? So yeah, I tried drawing on the mobile first. I used something called Medibank or something like that. Medibank. This is the first time I ever opened the app, so I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. So I kind of spent the first few minutes playing around. I originally tried to use something called Pixby, or something like that. iPix, and it was awful. I freaking hate it. Everything life sucks. But yeah, as soon as it connected, you get using an adapter to USB-C to connect to the phone, everything works perfectly fine, and everything's pretty nice. This is basically just like any stereotypical joint tablet without a screen. I would not recommend it for like any final drawing, but for a lot of screenless tablets out there, they're actually pretty big, and people don't actually use them to do finishing and refined drawings. I don't do that. I use screen tablets whenever I can, and I prefer to use screenless tablets to do this the basic sketches. So this is for the entire purpose for me to buy this entire device is just to do sketches, and this definitely hits fine. I try to do more refined lines and stuff like that, and try to put harder sensitivity, and it doesn't really do that well. When I try to add extra pressure on the top of it, it's different from my XP pen Decode 1, and it doesn't supply hard pressures that well or clear lining. It kind of feels a bit off, kind of feels cheap at that point, but I only use this for sketches. If you ever wanted to use this or have in mind for final sketches for like this 8-inch small joint tablet, I I don't think it's gonna work out that well, but it can definitely be done if you just zoom in a little bit. But I can't really draw clear lining that well without screens. So right now I'm just trying out something on a laptop and try downloading the drivers for the device so I can use for laptop and also mobile, because I think that's what people usually do. If they buy a single device, they probably want to use it for all devices. So the website all looks pretty new. They don't have that many devices on right now, but it seems to be developing things pretty quickly. I've spoken before, for the current model, which is the S620, right now does not actually have a proper Windows driver, so the current one is only on beta, with the Mac being one fully developed, which I think is pretty damn strange, though I honestly don't find any issues with it so far, and everything been working pretty fine. So this is the actual driver itself. It kind of looks like a Helion clone, in my own personal opinion. It's really simple design. You can change the typical things, the Japan or whatever, and it works very nicely right off the bat. So I just downloaded, installed it, and everything works fine off the bat. No sensitivity issues, no monitor correction issues, no pen marks being off 2 goddamn kilometers. Just talking to you, freaking Helion. Took me 8 freaking installations to get it right. Really simple design. If you look down the taskbar, it doesn't have an icon yet, so you can't. So it kind of just stays in the background for now. If you just close an app and try to grab it on top of the app, you can't do that. So I had to minimize all the apps, go back to the desktop, and then finally see it open and just change whatever you want, really. If you worry about functionality, all the functions and things inside of here should have worked. I test out the keys, the buttons, or whatever, and also what's important, touch sensitivity, so everything layouts, the change in gear, whatever, it all matches fine with Helion, which I think is okay. So desktop. So I actually put my laptop. I used to have everything on a laptop, so I put my laptop underneath my table because it's really annoying, and I just stand on top of the table and do everything on my own. So it's very nice. The actual included cable itself is 1.5 meters or about 60 inches in American terms. It's long enough. I've seen some very short cables in the past, and it's freaking annoying in my own personal opinion. It was good that I can just wrap around the cable, do everything I want, and just plug it into my laptop without worrying about length or anything. And it still had a bit of spare length I can just use on. So it's very nice. I had long cables. Exactly what I wanted. It's been a very long while since I've done any 2D drawings, really. Seriously, anyways. I actually started a webcomic, but I tried to force myself to finish the 6-pager in one day, so the quality is pretty damn horrible. And yeah, drawing with it, sketching is absolute breeze. I love sketching on this device, and this is when I try to inking and then my life just falls apart. Inking is awful. I have not inked or done any finalized illustrations on a screenless drawing tablet for over a year now, and everything about it is really rusty. I tried sculpting without a screenless drawing tablets before, and it's actually fine. Somewhat fine, but if you get yourself a screen, it's definitely better in my opinion. Then again, though, I'm suffering from like 2 different viruses that stops my muscle movements, so my eyes is kind of messed up right now, and I can't really do anything about it. Anyways, though, the drawing experience was pretty nice. I tried to draw Miu, M-I-U, from the Danganronpa series. Halfway through it, I just kind of gave up. The pen, I just can't control it as well. I just suck at copying stuff, and I kind of tried to draw the character a bit, but it didn't work out that well. When pressing harder on the actual tablet itself, I find that being the weakest point. It just doesn't go as well, and feel as comfortable to control. I know that you've been using the sample a lot, but when I used the XP Pen Decode 1, I found that using a hard press when pressing harder on it, it kind of sinks into the device really well, and it drags the pen along with it, and that creates some really nice lines. Unless it doesn't, because I suck. That's lining and whatever. I actually pretty suck at coloring, so what I tend to do is just finishing everything with basic color. Then I just do everything Camera Raw from now on, especially the 2021 version, or the newest version of Camera Raw, where you can just do a lot of color corrections. I kind of do a basic coloring, then just use the different gradients or whatever, and just add in the interesting details of the different reflections, lighting or whatever. Just add that extra depth of the warmth, the coldness or whatever. It just adds some layers with opacities, just get the correct lighting. and I found that a pretty useful strategy. Alright, for a final verdict, I suppose, would I recommend this driver to anybody else? The answer is probably yes. It is good for final illustrations. No, but sketching wise, I think this is probably the best one I had so far. For the price, I think this is done amazing compared to $80 XP Pen Decode number 1 that I used to have carry me. It was larger in size, but I don't think that made too much a difference overall, though the smaller size does make things a bit more difficult for the smaller details. The pen itself, I like the rubber grips, everything was responsive and doesn't require charging. The glove itself was probably the most comfortable one I have worn so far. The cable, the connection cable is 1.5 meters long or 60 inches, which I found very handy. And overall, I just found the quality to be pretty damn nice, and I really liked it. I hope everybody stays safe during these crazy times, and hope everybody's okay, and have a good day. Okay?